Bam! What's up, you guys? Welcome to day 23. I'm glad you're here. Have you ever noticed this? That when you and I introduce or talk to people, hey man, how you been? Oh, I've been really busy. Or the reply back, yeah, what about you? How you been? I've been busy, man. Been really busy. That's become the common language, like as if it's a badge of honor to say I'm busy. Like, oh, life is so busy. And maybe it is. The reality is it probably is. The reality is we live in a culture that glorifies busyness. That if we're busy, it means that we must be doing something good. I want to talk to you about rest. So you've been going at this thing, we're day 23, right? So you've been adding something to your schedule that wasn't there before for 23 days. There's a chance you could say, man, I'm tired. I'm tired of having to emotionally work through this stuff. That's why I want to introduce this idea of rest, that it becomes part of your routine. So on your day sevens, on the beginning of the weeks, when you begin to map your calendar out, that you create space for this. For me and my family, we call it Sabbath. And I believe wholeheartedly, whether spiritually, whether from science, that we are designed to rest. And I'm not talking about binging Netflix for 24 hours straight on a couch while I eat Doritos and Pop-Tarts. That's not restful to me. I'm talking about rest from creating. I'm talking about rest from producing. I'm talking about rest from consuming. I'm talking about just rest. One of the biggest ways for me personally is the consuming, because I consume social media all the time. I consume products when I go shopping, and this desire to say I want more all the time. There's this consumption part of who we are. But you're asking the simple question is probably, Zach, what does this have to do with choosing sobriety, to stay sober? It has a lot. Because when we begin to restructure our lives, when we begin to believe that new identity that was spoken to you, not the false self, this new who you are, then all of a sudden we don't have to prove and achieve and do and work harder and harder and harder to try to be something, because you already know who you are. You're already fine in your identity, right? So you don't have to produce for anybody else anymore. You don't have to create for anybody else anymore. You don't have to be something that you weren't before. We said goodbye to the imposter. And with all of that weight, all of those things, we get to set it aside and we get to go, I can rest. I can rest in who I am. I can sleep well at night. And so I want to clarify, again, when I'm talking about rest, I'm not talking about just our sleep. That is a component of rest. That learning to get good sleep, and if you're not getting good sleep, email me and I'll send you a specific PDF about how to optimize your room specifically for sleep, right? So that way you are most aligned for the best potential of getting good sleep, because good sleep is important, and if we don't get it. But I'm talking about this rest that is bigger than sleep even. I'm talking about this rest that is designed for who we are. So myself and my family, what we personally do is start of Saturday sunset to Sunday sunset is we rest as a family. And what that looks like, it looks different every week, but to give you an example of some of the non-negotiables on it for us is when we rest, we say no screen time. We shut it down. No watching shows, no phones. I turn my phone off. I'm done. I shut it down. We do listen to music because we like music in this house. And so music is always happening in live. We may be checking Spotify to change the song. But otherwise, we're not checking social media. We're not doing that so we're basically powering down. We're resting from the consumption of all those things. We try not to shop. Meaning, like, we don't try to go to the grocery store. We don't try to have to get to-dos done. A big one for me of resting is I don't do projects around my house. I don't try to fix the sprinkler system that's not working, or whatever it is, because I'm a doer, right? That's in my nature. I like to fix things. So it's hard for me to rest from it. Especially if I didn't get it done in the week ahead, then all of a sudden I go, man, that's just going to have to wait. But learning, that's okay. And so what does it look like? So I'm telling you the things that we don't do, but what do we do? We sleep in. I usually take a nap. I try to. And I'd never get a nap, except for on this day, but I nap. I like to take a nap. That's if my kids let me take a nap. What else we do? We play games. We go to the beach. We go for walks. We eat good food. And none of us like to do dishes, so we don't do dishes all day. We just let it be, because I'll do it another day. And so I share all of this with you because what it does is it gives me, it's the most recharging day of the week for me. It is a day that I get refueled up. It is a day that I got to just read a book for pleasure. It is the day that I got to take a nap. It's the day I got to just play with my kids. It's the day I didn't have to do anything. I didn't do chores. I didn't do dishes. I didn't do anything. And it rebuilds my energy for the week ahead. And then all of a sudden, I am way more productive when it comes to these 6 other days because I know that I don't have a day to do things. So I got to make sure it fits in here somewhere. So I'm more productive. I'm recharged. I am energized and excited. And let me tell you guys, relapse happens when we are tired. When you are tired physically, emotionally, spiritually, if you are tired, you are closer to a relapse. And so learning to rest, huge. Learning to take time for yourself, for your family, for you and your significant other, whatever it is, learning to do it together. Guys, it's life-changing. So in the email, I wrote out what that looks like for me. Like, here's some of the things we do and we don't do. I'm not saying you have to do what I do. I'm just showing you an example of what we do. There's a lot of different things that work for you, but the biggest question you need to ask yourself is, what brings life to me? What brings life to me? What gives me life right now? Because rest should give you life. It should bring something up in you that you go, man, so glad I got to do that. I started painting again. I used to paint a lot, and I love to paint, but I never found time for it. It was always one of those, I don't have time, I don't have time. I also did a macrame, which most of you guys might be like, well, I don't even know what that is. It's like the thing you tie a bunch of, you just sit there and tie knots over and over and over again until you get this pretty thing you hang on the wall. The reason why? It was very therapeutic. I like just standing there tying knots and just sitting talking to my kids as my hands did something. It was enjoyable, and that was restful to me. I wasn't creating them. Now, if I did that every day to sell them, and that was my job, then no, it wouldn't be restful on that day. But because I got to create something out of fun and pleasure and joy, it was worth it. It was enjoyable. So that is it, you guys. Explore. It's called a practice. To learn this practice of rest means that you're not going to have it figured out right away. That means maybe talk with somebody and go, so here's the things I'm going to try to do that seem restful to me. Do them, and then evaluate it and go, oh, that wasn't restful at all. I thought it would be. I thought going to visit my in-laws was going to be really restful, and it wasn't. Find the people that you can hang out with that make it feel restful, that it's not work to be around them. Find the things that you can do that bring joy. Prepare your food the day before so you don't have to make food, and all you got to do is it's ready, you just warm it up. Or take food, order out that day. I don't know. But do whatever it is that really brings rest to you. And what brings rest to you is going to be unique to you, because you are unique, the only person in the world that is you. So this is a big part of our journey. This is part of recovery, is learning to take care of yourself. And one of those ways is the rest. So proud of you.